I don't think agents should invest the time and money changing brokerages until they're able to identify what their pain points are and what they are looking to get out of their business so that then they're able to determine if it's really the brokerage they're with or if perhaps it's an issue in their business or the team that they're on. I had a call the other day, an agent scheduled me to have a discovery call about Real Broker, where I am, and we had about an hour long conversation and barely talked about Real Broker at all. And the reason for that is when I have an agent inquire and schedule a call to hear more about Real Broker, I like to ask questions and get more information about where they are in their real estate career and what they feel is either not aligned at their current brokerage and if a new brokerage would be able to solve that. I really just like to get agents thinking first. And this agent that I connected with, Maria, if you're watching, I really enjoyed our call. And Maria is currently a full-time teacher and has been for 16 years. And she has gotten some pushback from brokerages in regard and teams in regard to being a part-time agent. So she made the bold decision to retire from teaching at the end of this year. She's going to take a step back so that she's able to focus full-time on her real estate business. And I commend her for that. It takes courage to end something that you have been doing for over a decade and dive into something new. And then within that, Maria is currently on a team within her brokerage. And she said the team has been great about giving her opportunities to host open houses. And she has met quite a few unrepresented buyers there. They invite her to shadow at showings and have been helpful in terms of helping her learn the ropes. But she still is feeling incredibly lost in her real estate business and like something isn't aligning because they also encourage her to follow these leads that she has generated through the open houses on a regular basis. And Maria teaches all day, number one. And number two, her personality is not aligned with cold calling or door knocking. We are very similar in that sense that it just gives her the ick. And in my case, it gives me anxiety even thinking about it. So she feels like she doesn't know what she should be doing on a daily basis to grow her real estate business. And she doesn't have any idea who her ideal client is, who her messaging should be geared towards, and even how she ultimately wants to lead generate in terms of the strategy that she's going to zone in and master. And if you ever set up a call with me to discover more about Real, I'm always going to dig into your business the same way because I don't think that the answer is as simple as changing brokerages, especially for new real estate agents. You want to invest a lot of time into selecting your broker, even when you are a brand new agent. I made that mistake early on and didn't do any research on any real estate brokerages, just joined the broker that the agent who sold me my first home was with. And then I got on her team as well. And it was a misstep. I certainly learned a lot from the team, but as far as the brokerage went, it was never a good fit for me, but I didn't know any better. And I don't think most agents know any better. So as I got to know Maria more and learn more about her personality, and she shared some information with me that she has a really unique strength that I think that she could tap into. And within that conversation, she also shared with me that she does not have any interest in ever cold calling or door knocking as a way to grow her business. She had spent some time once putting door hangers out in her neighborhood, and she said dogs were barking at her. She was just so stressed out, and it just wasn't her thing. So my first question to her is, how do you communicate in daily life? How do you meet people? How do you like to communicate? And within that, that always leads to ideas for how to generate leads that are going to come more naturally to you. And don't get me wrong, you're not going to feel like lead generating every single day. But if you pick something that at least aligns with your personality and you're interested in versus something that gives you anxiety or just ick vibes, you're much more likely to do it. So Maria and I got to talking about YouTube and social media, and she knows so much about her area, and she also speaks Spanish fluently. So we really talked a lot about relocation clients and possibly starting a YouTube channel. And within that, Maria shared with me that she had been told by another agent that she would need to invest in a bunch of fancy equipment, an expensive camera, lighting, etc., to even start that YouTube channel. And Maria, that's not in her budget. And that was a key detail she shared with me that I think was really important because her brokerage has nothing to do with giving her that information, and the information is incorrect. And I happen to know the brokerage she's with has a lot of agents who are extremely successful on YouTube, and they're like me. They don't have a bunch of fancy equipment. I have a ring light, a wireless mic, and I use my iPhone. And both of my YouTube channels have done very well. So it was more of a call to understand what Maria wants her business to look like, who her ideal client is, and then her next step will be determining the best lead generation strategy to attract those clients while still aligning with her personality. And we didn't get into any of that. The takeaway and the homework for Maria was to really think about herself and her personality and write down who she pictures for her ideal client. And then from there, think about how she would like to lead generate long term. And I encourage her to set up another call with me so that once she has those more narrowed down, then we can talk about the gap, if there is one, on the team that she is currently on and how that ties back into her brokerage to determine if it makes sense for her to take the time and spend the money changing brokerages. We were on the call for about an hour, and it just simply wasn't enough time to get to the point where I could even make any suggestions on different brokerages for her to look into, because that upfront work is really important. It's what's going to get you to the step of determining which brokerage works for you. And when you do get to that step, you know how you want to lead generate, you know what's going to align with your personality, you know how you want your business to look, you have a business plan in place. That's another thing that she shared with me, that she had never been helped with laying out her business. And that's really important, whether you're a brand new agent or have been in the business a long time. You have to have some type of framework to be working from. You need to know where you're trying to go, because if you don't, you're never going to get there. It'd be like getting in the car and having no idea where you're going and you just start driving. And once you do that, then you will be able to make a list of brokerages that you want to interview with. And I think that that is another misstep that agents make, and it's just not talked about a lot, is that you should be interviewing the brokers as much as they're interviewing you. And that is even when you are a brand new agent and the ink is still drying on your license. It is important that you are aligning with a brokerage and a team. If you're on a team too, it's two layers if you're on a brokerage, in a brokerage, and on a team. But speaking from the brokerage standpoint, it's really important that you're aligning with people who already have way more experience doing what you want to accomplish. And sure, you could figure it all out on your own and ultimately end up successful, but why would you want to spend time figuring it all out when you can align with a company who has already done all of that and can help you and save you from making the same mistakes that they did? There's such a high failure rate in real estate, and even looking at the stats last year, that 70 some percent of agents sold 1 or 0 homes. That's alarming. And in order to avoid becoming a part of that statistic, Your brokerage and or your team both really matter. And that's my message today. When you are in the process of getting your license and starting to think about what brokerage you want to join, you can start interviewing brokerages before you are ready to get your license and you pass the test. Invest time into that process, because what it's going to do is save you time down the road, because you will have already determined where you belong. And within investing time to figuring out your brokerage, you also want to make sure that you are mapping out a business plan for yourself and at least have a general idea of how you want to generate leads, so that once you have your license, you don't have downtime while you are researching and getting that plan together. You can hit the ground running. You're going to know that you have aligned with a brokerage that matches how you want your business to look. And then it's going to be a matter of building your skills versus trying to figure out and spending time when you really want to be out previewing homes. You want to be mastering the lead generation strategy you selected. You want to be zoning in and tweaking your messaging so that you are attracting the type of clients that you want to work with. There is a ramp up time, and you can really shorten that amount of time if you do the legwork ahead of time. And in Maria's case, that applies to her too, because even though she's part time now and she's already got some skills under her belt, she is going to be full time end of June timeframe. So between now and then, she can really get things going in terms of what she wants her business to look like, so that as soon as the school year wraps up and this is her only focus as far as work goes, she can really get after it and start getting a pipeline built and actually start closing deals. I hope you got some value from this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And until I see you on the next one, thanks for watching.